Welcome to From the VC's Bookshelf, a podcast from TBR, the College System of Tennessee, the state's largest higher education system. In this series, we examine how we might re-envision the work we do and how we work together as we move into a post-pandemic world. Please join our host, Dr. Heidi Lemming, Vice Chancellor for Student Success, as she leads a live discussion with industry experts and leaders throughout our system.
In our spring 2025 podcast series, we're focusing on themes found in the book Creating Campus Community in Search of Ernest Boyer's Legacy by William McDonald and Associates. The book was released in 2002, but the relevance of the topic is more important than ever for our students and our institutions. Belonging asks, does everyone on campus feel valued, connected, and able to be their authentic self? In many ways, belonging is the emotional counterpart to inclusion. It's the feeling of having personal involvement in an environment. A sense of belonging is centered on gaining acceptance, being part of something, and feeling supported, as well as giving support to others. Like inclusion, a sense of belonging is active and requires reflection. And thriving institutions create spaces to foster social connections and communication that in turn nurture creativity, innovation, and success. In today's podcast, I'm excited to be talking with three TCAT faculty members who recently participated in our new Faculty Institute and to hear their reflections on their experiences working at their various institutions and with their students. The first panelist on our podcast today is Trina Hall. Trina is at TCAT Memphis as a practical nursing instructor. She's been in nursing for 24 years, is an RN, and has been an RN for 10 of those years. Her heart's passion has been in educating the new generation of nurses that are coming into the amazing field of healthcare. She has held leadership roles in serving as a nurse educator, quality improvement nurse in LTC, and the community wellness nurse in the assisted living area. While working in various fields, she has fostered a love of being an educator in her nursing role. Nursing circulates in her body like the oxygen she breathes. I love that analogy, so appropriate. It gives her life. She is a 6-year member of Chi 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 chapter of Chi Eta Phi sorority, a nursing sorority that is very committed to serving the community, mentoring youth, and elevating the platform of nursing. Her grandmother always said, "Bad company corrupts good character," so she feels it's awesome to be in the company of great educators that can elevate students to greatness and play a part in leading them to a career in healthcare. Welcome, Trina.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to be talking with you today. Our second panelist is Dr. Sylvia Phillips from TCAT Chattanooga. She's an aesthetics instructor. Sylvia brings over 17 years of experience in the beauty and holistic health fields. With a license in massage and aesthetics and advanced degrees in acupuncture and Eastern medicine, Sylvia has cultivated a deep understanding of both physical and holistic well-being. Passionate about empowering others, she has returned to TCAT Chattanooga to share her expertise with the next generation of professionals. Through her unique approach, which includes incorporating mindfulness activities to set a positive tone for the day, Sylvia inspires students to strive for excellence in their craft and personal growth. Welcome, Dr. Phillips.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful to have someone focused on wellness on the panel today. I'm excited to talk about that as well.
Yes.
Our third panelist is Bridger Moreland from TCAT Knoxville.
Nashville.
I'm sorry, it says Nashville on here. I don't know why I said that. TCAT
No worries.
Nashville, computer information technology instructor. Bridger Moreland is a seasoned IT leader with over 35 years of global experience in technology strategy, cybersecurity, and enterprise infrastructure. As an executive consultant, Bridger has worked internationally with diverse teams to implement scalable IT solutions, strengthen cybersecurity frameworks, and drive digital transformation initiatives. Holding an MBA from Iowa State University, Bridger blends technical expertise with strategic leadership to develop forward-thinking IT solutions. In addition to consulting, he has designed training programs that bridge the gap between industry demands and workforce skills, incorporating hands-on lab and cybersecurity challenges to prepare professionals for real-world IT environments. Driven by a passion for mentorship and the future of technology, Bridger transitioned into teaching to equip the next generation of IT professionals with the critical skills and knowledge needed to navigate an evolving digital landscape. Welcome, Bridger.
Thank you. What an exciting topic we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. Super excited to have all three of you here. Again, the focus for this podcast series is around community building on our campuses and in the places where we're working with students. So to recap, again, the themes found in the book, it's based on a theory of engagement by Ernest Boyer. The author of this book has perspectives from 5 different types of institutions, and they share kind of their experiences with creating community. But in general, Boyer's theory and the book describes 6 key components: that our campuses are educationally purposeful, where learning is the focus. They are open places where civility is affirmed, a just place where persons are honored, a disciplined place where group obligations guide behavior, caring places where individuals are supported, and a celebrative place where traditions are shared. So keeping those kind of themes in mind, we're going to talk a little bit more today about the term of sense of belonging. It can be something that maybe folks feel is intangible, but obviously it's overall describes where people feel like they're in a place they're meant to be and with people that they're meant to be with. So it makes us feel good. So to start with, I just really want to dive into reflecting on this concept of sense of belonging with each of you today, and maybe from your particular lens of work. And you all come from very different industry backgrounds before coming into teaching. So you might even want to talk about the differences of what you've seen coming from industry now into the post-secondary environment and what that sense of belonging looks like. And talk more about how you see your work affecting a student's sense of belonging on campus. Bridger, can we start with you?
Certainly. So I came into this class wanting to develop a sense of belonging and not exactly knowing how. So I started treating them exactly the way I did with my teams when I was in the industry. So we would have morning stand-ups and try to generate some energy and make sure they still feel connected and stuff. And I found out pretty soon that the students that we get into these programs need a lot more one-on-one time, and they need to be affirmed and built up to make sure that they still feel like they're needed and wanted, and they're being they're on a valuable track. So a lot of the labs that we do, I'm teaching technology, so we teach them to come together and work on things as teams. And that seems to work with them on making them feel like they have a small group out of this bigger group that they belong to. They all have the same struggles. They all have the same assignments that they're going through, and they all have the same examples I'm putting out in front of them that, this is the way it works in the real world. You're on different levels, but we have a goal and we're trying to accomplish it together. And so on the day-to-day basis, that's how I approach it on, let's work together and let's end together and let's succeed together and let's fail together and learn from it and succeed later.
Yeah, that's great. Others, go ahead and jump in.
I guess I can jump in.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll just admit I'm a little nervous right now.
That's okay.
But so what I did with my students, I shared my experience. So I didn't start at TCAT, but TCAT is where I got my start. So I talked about my trials with my students. In our orientation, I made a mission for every student to know where all the different services were that they could go to if they need help. So I like free food. So we would always find something on campus where there's some free food. And that kind of made them like, hey, wow, I like this campus a little bit more. And we could venture out sometimes,
That's great. I like the fact that you're connecting into those resources too, not knowing where they are with any of that, but just at least leveling the playing field for all of them.
Right.
Out the gate. So that's great.
I think with having that sense of belonging, we start our classes off me wanting to make sure not only I'm connected with my students, but they're connected to each other. So using our platform D2L, you know how you can have discussions.
Right.
So my students starting out after orientation have a get to know me. Okay. So not only you're required to ask 2 questions of whoever posts. You can't get any credit unless you do that. So I can tell you all about me, and then you have to ask me 2 questions about what I've posted. So that gets them to knowing other people and knowing what their reasons are for being here. That segues into our wall of why. So everybody on first day of class gets a card. The card is my reason why I decided I wanted to be in nursing. That varies. It varies from I want the money. It varies from I'm trying to set an example for my child. I'm trying to elevate myself. And so on those days where nursing gets harder, because it does get harder, I say, go to your why. So those cards are on the wall. Flip your card and remember why you're in this. So you stay connected to me, you stay connected to your people that are in the class with you, going through this journey with you. So that's the connection that I try to initiate at the start.
So one of the things that I think all 3 of you have kind of mentioned is just various ways that you're kind of giving students a sense of like how connecting with the institution. The why in particular is really important for all of you, because you are coming straight out of industry. You can maybe give some personal kind of reflections on what that's going to be like with the students and that kind of that sense of purpose. Can you talk a little bit more? Because in our TCATs, the faculty-student ratio, number 1, is really low. You spend most of the day together. So you have a much more intentional and invested effort with these students than maybe a community college faculty member or a university faculty member. So can you talk about, again, when we're talking about that why piece or the connections with industry that you're trying to make with students, how you've seen that play out in terms of how you mentor the students to be thinking about their why or the future for them?
I think thinking about that, in nursing in particular, we have 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 30 hours. That then becomes a job, but it's your most rewarding job, right? So we want to make sure that when we're doing that, that we not only just stay connected in that, we stay connected with making sure we go from small tasks to big tasks, but we're all together within that. So it definitely helps to look at the amount of time, because you're looking at it, you spend more time with us than you spend with your family sometimes. So yeah, it's definitely rewarding to be able to make sure we stay connected, for sure.
I know for one, I'm stealing this why wall concept. This is great.
Go ahead and steal it.
That is coming to my classroom. So
Yeah.
One of the things when I started out with the students, and I do it at every cohort that comes in, is we do a bit of a personality profile test. And it's the fun when we're doing the dope bird personality test. Right?
I haven't heard of that one.
It's a little bit of this, a little bit of Myers-Briggs
Okay.
stuff. But it gives them an opportunity to go, hey, we're all a little bit different, and these unique things that we bring makes us much more creative and much more capable of solving problems together. So we start out there, and it creates an opening from the get to know each other. But back to the why part of, putting that thing out there, that they have a purpose, that they have a goal to get through. A lot of them have come into my class and they don't know yet. It's like, this is something I'm trying. But bouncing off from what we explore and learn in that first month together, it often leads to their why. So when we're doing my one-on-ones, or they're talking in their groups, when they have those assignments, we can point back to it. It's like, this is the personality that you have. This is the goals that you've talked about. And we keep bringing them up over and over again to try to keep that motivation. Because about 3 months in, that motivation takes a big old giant plunge.
It can happen, yeah.
Yeah, it does. I will say, after our orientation, we did go over the why, and a lot of them stressed that they wanted to go into the medical aesthetics kind of thing. So I kind of catered everything towards that, and to have them think about, like, we're going to write papers now. We're going to do different types of formatting, because these are the kind of things that you're asking for me to teach you. And so I've given them several projects, and I've pushed them a lot. And I push because I know that they can be better estheticians. We need better estheticians, people who are going to be safe and do things safely. So that's what I strive to do with this class and future classes.
Kind of have that connection with them.
Yes. Yeah, and we do mindfulness in the morning. So the first 30 minutes of our class, there's some type of mindful meditation, or I'll go out, we'll go walk, and we'll do like a mini Tai Chi if they want to do that. And then we'll do box breathing or something like that. And that actually has helped, because we did have a situation last semester where those tools we needed, because some people had panic attacks and anxiety from different things that have happened on our campus. So it was good for them to have those tools already. And that made them connect as a unit. And from there, they've got their own like group me kind of thing, and they kind of are self-sufficient now.
I'd like to lean into that. That's a great transition, because one of the questions that I want to talk with all of you about is this, how we educate our students to develop a sense of well-being. So let's talk a little bit about that, particularly in their lives outside of campus. I mean, you're giving them a moment on campus, but in your roles, because you are so close with the students, you're with them all day, what are some ways that you see that playing out in your work, that you're trying to coach them on developing that sense of well-being beyond their education? They're going to go out, and nursing's a stressful field. IT can be very stressful. So what are the various ways that you're trying to teach that to our students? And you can expand first, Sylvia, since you started the conversation.
So we do the mindfulness, but then I do know that life does happen, and I shared my experience. I've shared that I've been pregnant and in school and working and have children, or just have children and working, or working, a 12-hour shift and then coming in. So, there's different things, and I tell them, I get it. But at the end of the day, you came here to work, to be an esthetician. That's what you're telling me. So with that, if you need to go to our counseling services, I'll tell them, hey, look, if you tell me that, you can make an appointment and you can go there. If you need to do that, go do that, and that has helped a lot. And then also just doing growth mindset workshops and stuff like that, doing vision boards, that has helped a lot.
That's great.
Well-being.
Yeah, that's great. Other examples?
Example is making sure they have someone that they can also talk to. And having that person, because my students, it's not everybody you're going to make a connection with. It may not be me, but somebody on my team or one of our industry people that are on our advisory boards that then you connect with, you create this mentorship with, and then it's like, okay, things are going awry in school, but let me call doctor this or nurse this, and then maybe she can kind of give me some guidance, because remember, this journey they've been through too. And I also I'm very transparent with them when it comes to me. I came from TCAT. I was a LPN in that same seat that you're sitting in, so I was in these same walls. If I was able to do this, adversity coming here and there, you are able to do this too. I'm no different than you. So tell them the things that I used and that I helped. Stress reliever, work-life balance is, you must have it. If you don't have work-life balance, and sometimes the work is what we give you. That's your work for now. But create a balance. I don't care if it's you. I take 10 minutes out and I'm going to sit in the bathroom and this is what I'm going to do. I want quiet. I don't want a kid. I don't want a husband. I don't want anybody.
You have to go to the bathroom for that.
You got to do that. Close that door.
Yeah.
But create a space of your own. If it's a nook in the closet, create something to where you can just be quiet and hear your thoughts for a minute. Reset, and then get back to the business.
Yeah, and what I like about that example is you are kind of putting yourself like in a more human place, as opposed to I'm just your instructor, by sharing that personal experience. Yeah, that's great. Anything from your IT experience that you're sharing with students, Bridger? Or?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I naively came into teaching not realizing how much counseling was involved in just keeping the students motivated and focused, because it's a struggle. And these amazing, beautiful people that come into my classroom have so much going on in their lives. And it's very, just like all of us, it's very hard to balance all of that. A lot of my students have families. A lot of my students have jobs. Most of my students have jobs and things going on. And I try to be as understanding as possible. It's like, we're all human. Things come up. Communicate with me if things are going on. I've had so many moments where someone is sitting in my office and I am saying it's going to get better. Stay focused. You came here to do something. You have this goal, and you're not going to achieve it if you keep stressing about everything else. It's like, leave it at the door and, just break it down into 20 minutes at a time, and let's get through that 20 minutes. And it's a common technique that I've taught for a long time, the Pomodoro technique of let's focus for 20 minutes and then we take a 5-minute break, and focus for 20 minutes and take a 5-minute break. And I teach that to the students as well, to just try to compartmentalize it, because so many of the things that they stress about are completely out of their control. And re-emphasizing over and over that you can only control what is within your control, and some things that you have to let go. And like you guys, I often share my personal reflections on what I've been through in life so that they can relate to me, because I am that person that finished college online and worked with little kids running around as I was working from home. And, I can relate to a lot of the things that they struggle with. But there are so many things to stress out about in this day and age that just a little bit of love and care helps go a long way to say, okay, maybe I can make it through this program.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I had one more thing I wanted to say. So part of our resources too. So if you are in a bind, we do have those resources on our campus. So if you need help with paying rent or any kind of bills, they do have a fund. So I tell them, hey, look, apply for here. You can get that. We also have a Tiger Cupboard. So it's our pantry, food pantry. So if they need food, we have locations where they can get food. And I think once a month they have something where they can have like a package of food. But there's always food around. So if their needs is I'm hungry, or if I need some money right now, we have those resources on campus, which I think is great.
Yeah. Yeah. If a student's basic needs are not being met, they cannot move to that next phase of focusing on their studies and learning, right?
Yeah, so we probably all experienced that with some of our students.
Yeah,
that,
absolutely. I mean, even in the opportunities that we have tutoring opportunities, and they come in, but they're bringing food. They're bringing snacks. I figure out any way that I can, it's an eating time, because that's a way to actually get them in. If you're struggling in something and you need that tutor, but it's like, I need to go and I have to be somewhere because I need to feed my kids, I need to do this, but we've got pizza here. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, you get some pizza for baby John and take it on with you when you go. But stay here with me for 30 minutes. Let me teach you this element of dosage. So that way when you get home, that work that we've given you, you now have a head start on.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I wanted to kind of pick your brain on, you all are relatively new in your role as being instructors. So that's where you are part of a community of faculty that we've brought together to learn about all the resources that TBR has to offer. In your short time at your campuses, in your opinion, how authentic are students' desires to be connected? And maybe you've been surprised in some way on that. So just in the time that you've been in the classroom, maybe observations about their desire to be connected with you or other people.
I think definitely the desire is there, and of varying levels, of course. I mean, we're all different people, but they want something and they don't really know what it is. And one of the things that stood out in this book on the readings was, are they dependent upon some authority figure to offer that connection, or are they building it on their own? I think we all as instructors try to create that environment where they are creating those connections based on, any project work that we're pairing them up on or anything. But there's definitely that draw to, they want to do something and they're very lost. That's I speak for my students, that's what I see all the time is I don't know where to start. And I feel it's our responsibility to either create the situations or point out the situations or show them that there are support things on campus happening, and just pull them into something. Because the ones that I've seen that haven't connected are the ones that start not showing up for class.
Right, so it impacts their academics.
It absolutely does. And if they don't have that draw and they don't have that camaraderie when they're in there, they're the less sexful ones trying to get through that class.
Yeah, right.
And then being able to relate to your authority figures as well. Like our president, Dr. Sutton, on any given time, you'll see her walking through the halls, on our floor, talking. She gives us the autonomy to be creative in the classroom. And I was just talking with Dr. Phillips and telling her, I'm the crazy teacher. I'm the crazy Any given time you're coming down the hall, it's like, what's going on in that classroom? We're learning, but we're learning creatively. But we're in groups. So what I didn't know about that person that sits in the front of the class, now I've grouped you with them and you have a goal to do. So we're playing, we're doing creative play, but it's also in learning the elements that we need to learn. So your president is peeking in and seeing that. And then if there's a question you need to ask her, she is open at that time, as opposed to being sitting behind a desk with your big chair and your big, door. And it's like, oh no, I'm intimidated to even say anything or to ask her anything. So being able to create those relationships by people of authority, it actually helps too, because it makes us all feel like we're on the same playing field.
Right.
I love it when the president sticks his head in and we're doing a game at the end of class.
I love it.
Oh my God. And everyone's yelling and laughing.
Yes. They're like, what are you doing in here?
Well, another thing that I think would be really great to hear are maybe some examples that you've seen in your work that have been pretty successful in terms of engaging with colleagues, maybe even getting your students to interact maybe with other students in other areas. Just wanted to know, because they do spend most of their time out of the classroom, although it seems like that's their work hours with us.
Right.
Because there's a lot of mention in the book about the importance of connecting in and out of the classroom to build that sense of community. So it might even be like, do you have relationships with some community partners, ways that you're engaging students in the larger community? I would just love to hear some examples of that.
I think my favorite way is with our community partners. We have, being on the IT side of things, there's so many projects that people want us to be involved with. It's like, free labor and, practice doing real work. We like it on both sides, but finding that community partner, right now we're partnering with a group called the 1 Acre Project, who helps plant community gardens and feed hungry people, because we have especially in Nashville, there is a lot of food insecurity. But it's a great project because they need all kind of stuff. I mean, we've developed their website, we've developed their network environment, we've developed web apps for them, and it's all related to stuff that they learn in class. But they know on the other side, I bring these people in to talk to the students, and they see this is something that is very important, and it's making an impact, and it's work for a purpose. And the projects that are coming out of it is great as far as learning and the curriculum and how we make it match up. But the bigger thing is giving them a sense of purpose in those group projects that they're doing. And they see the impact of that out in the community. And they love to write it on their resumes.
Oh, sure. It's still an experience. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I think that camaraderie comes from, I will intentionally give them a problem that's really hard to solve on those type of projects, and just the struggle of working through it together and finally accomplishing it together. That's very bonding for them.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your commitment in trying to address the food insecurity issues in Nashville. That's a good focus. Sylvia, some examples?
Maybe we can come back to that.
Okay. Give you some thoughts.
Like right now, what I'll say is like right now we are still building up our aesthetics program. So we don't necessarily have those partnerships aligned right now, but we do go out to different industries. We do industry tours and stuff like that so they can see what is available to them. We're still trying to get those partnerships going with different people in our area.
Okay. Well, yeah. So you're kind of in the brainstorming phase. Maybe you can kind of share some of those ideas here in a second then. Okay. Yeah.
For sure. And we have amazing industry partners. that we go and we do volunteer opportunities with our community health fairs. So our nursing students like working with the nursing sorority that I'm in. So you have anywhere from RNs to nurse practitioners that are there that have different business opportunities. So not only are you serving the community, you're making connections with them and they become mentors. So then when you want to elevate, I started my LPN and I want to do my RN or I want to do my NP.
Right.
You have a resource in those industry partners to be able to help with. So it's amazing. It's amazing to see these baby birds come in, when they come in first trimester and then in your third trimester, they're running the show. You go to clinicals and it's like, oh, they got it. I absolutely love it. It's the most amazing journey to watch them do.
Yeah, the development there.
Absolutely.
That's great. I think we talked about well-being. We talked about the connections. They're spending so much more time out of the classroom than anything else and connecting with the community. I think, another part of this conversation is just how we're building or instilling a sense of civic responsibility in our students and serving the greater community. I mean, clear connections, obviously, with nursing and how we do that. But can you all also, from your perspective, industries, maybe talk about how you see that playing out in terms of connections with your programs, discipline, and building that sense of kind of a civic responsibility with your students? Any examples on that?
Technology in general, I always start off by saying technology is there for a reason. We're there to support, and businesses use technology for a specific purpose. So technology doesn't exist in a little bubble all by itself.
Yeah.
Technologists aren't like one-man shows. You work in a team. It is a team sport and not a solo activity. So that just talked about the whole entire program of we can't do this alone. We have to work together.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to make people's lives better because of technology or with technology, you have to get to know those people. So I think a lot from my teaching side is, sharing actual experience. This is what it's like in the real world. You don't just go out and say, oh, that's a really cool toy. Let's put that in play.
Right.
You have to get to know the people and their problems that you're trying to solve in order to do that effectively. Sure,
because there's consequences. And of course, we're starting to see some of that with technology innovations even now, right?
We love change. We change all the time, but change is very hard for people. So we spend a lot of time talking about how that actually impacts people and their work. Right.
And so it gets them connecting about impact on the greater society through that effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody wants to be beautiful, right? Everybody wants to feel beautiful. So that's one thing that we talk about. So we talk about different conditions and stuff like that, knowing how to refer out. But just the basics, some people don't know how to cleanse their skin. So sharing those things and giving them those opportunities. I know a lot of my students, they share that information. And they're trying to create those partnerships like with our mental health hospital to get in and make those people feel beautiful for the day,
Yeah, because it starts on the inside and affects those around you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Well, as we wrap up our conversation today, I just wanted to point out, I end every podcast with this quote from Parker Palmer that really illustrates the importance of the work that we're doing in education. And Palmer states, "We have at our disposal one of the greatest vehicles for community building known to humankind, the one called education." While elusive at times, a sense of belonging is a serious responsibility, an aspiration that all higher education professionals should aspire to achieve. And today we've had the opportunity for me to talk with 3 TCAT faculty members who are seeking that aspirational goal in providing quality education to our students, but also in developing that sense of community and belonging with them on campus and connecting them to our greater community. So thank you again for sitting and talking with me today and sharing your experiences and your stories.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
thank you so much.
It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this edition of From the VC's Bookshelf, brought to you by TBR, the College System of Tennessee, powering the state's economy and changing the lives of thousands of graduates, starting successful careers each year. To learn more about upcoming book selections or to register to attend discussions live, visit tbr.edu/bookshelf.